screen. Alright. I'm not sure I'm doing that. Beep. Usually would beep there. It doesn't do it anymore. Makes it a bit tricky. I'm not sure if I'm going to be heard because my voice is not. I'm not projecting very well. I'm tired, but I'm awake and I'm grouchier than I should be, and blah blah blah. Anyhow, but I feel like I've got this on the wrong side, and I've done a dodgy setup to try and keep the thing still. And anyhow, I'm not sure if that's easy to say or not. I was looking at this here. This is said to be a PICTISH mirror. It looks like a mirror and comb is what they say. Obviously, it's a carving and a piece of art in stone. And the academics or those those that have assigned themselves experts in the field, they're like, oh, this is a mirror. It's a mirror and a comb. Like, you go through all the stuff. I'm not going to do it all now. I kind of half am, but like you go, there's other versions. All right, this, I presume this is one that's found. And this was along the lines of what I'm thinking that I haven't explained yet. Oh fuck, it's just wait, no, I thought it stopped. And because all I've got to go on is the things that have been left behind, right? And it's not easy. Of course not. How can you? There's nothing to compare it to. There's lots of reasons why it's quite difficult to assess these images, and especially given what we've got to go on these days and the sort of things that we're told and the sort of assumptions that are made and yada yada yada, and the whole history is a bloody lie. It's a lie agreed upon. Napoleon said that, apparently. Who knows? Alright, I'm now getting off. I've half gotten off track. Anyhow, I've been looking at these things. I've been sort of drawing them here and there, just getting more of a feel to it, because I've realised that I've always been doing shitty versions of PICTISH drawings. Long before I knew what the word PICTISH, and that I perhaps was, or at some point, perhaps I think it's quite. Well, it seems to. No, I'm not getting into that. It seems to be the case that I bloody was, and it certainly feels right. And I'll leave it at that. I've already half explained it in another thing. And like this PICTISH beast, that's part of me. This whole part of me, right? So anyhow, what am I saying? Oh dear. Right, so now I've just been looking at different things, and I've been drawing some of the, just because I like to do it, and I realise I've been doing things, and I'm about to turn the camera to try to show, but I don't really need to show because it's not about that. For God's sake, and I'll never be able to get this thing lined up. But as an example, is that even coming out? That was just dark and it lit up. Like this is things I've done ages ago, just doodles, right? I've just done and I'm not reducing PICTISH art to doodles, but my point is that if you look at like these things, right? I've been doing them since I was in. I've been filling margins in my school books in class since I was, I don't know, since I was 12 or 13. I can remember doing them. Anyhow. So when I say it makes sense, a lot of I've kind of worked out. Perhaps it looks like I was, without getting into it, because I can't say it with a straight face. It all seems a bit silly, but there's the one that was found in the cave, and he's got it. Yeah, matter. Let's not get into that. It's not about that. Anyhow, so point is, I've been drawing these things just out of interest, and I've been looking into it, right? Into what we know of the PICTISH people, which I only found out they existed I only learned of them a year ago or something myself. When I found out I was this bloke. But anyhow, this is me. Whatever. It's quite. I only just discovered them on that particular day, and on the same day I discovered them, I discovered that I've been found in a cave. This is the story came out the same year. I made my channel called. Anyhow, my channel's called. And yeah, I'm off. I'm off topic. Point is, I've been drawing these things. Like I drew. Oh gosh. Like I drew this recently. Oh, I probably can't see it. Can't see it unless you see if you go like this. Alright. And I say I drew it, that's not quite, well, I did draw it, but I cheated because I put this thing up there and I traced it like a child, not like a child, like somebody learned, that's what you do. I traced it and then I drew the rest. So as it's a start, you know, just to get my, you know, fuck, bloody hell. Alright, I had a dodgy setup going, I knew that from the get-go. But I persisted because it was quite thrilling. But the thrill just, that's what happens when you, that's the sort of thrill I'm getting. that's thrilling for me at the moment. I put a fucking thing in a tissue box. Oh, what a thrill. What a thrill. Alright, I've lost it. Alright, that's not going to work. Alright, anyhow, I'll quickly try and do this now, and now it's going to be wobbly and whatever. So they've interpreted, various PICTISH things, and what I meant to bring up before when I was looking was, for example, this is like a summary. I think now that's doing I wasn't doing that before. I don't think. I didn't see the frequency issue. Anyhow, like this is like, someone's done like, this is PICTISH art that's been found. And one of them that keeps coming up, which I've had a bit of a laugh to myself about, because not having a go, it's just like this is like it's said, where is it? It's said to be, and it might well be a mirror. Could well be, it's like mirror and comb. I'm like, alright, so they're putting mirror, PICTISH beast, which never been found, but except that I think it's more an etheric type situation, and so these types of things that's what I've come to feel, come to know myself. Anyhow, what am I saying? Oh yeah, so this one here. Oh, it's a mirror and comb, because that's our interpretation in the whatever century we're apparently in, and that's our learned, that's our level of things. Well, it's a mirror and a comb. Alright, it's a comb. Fair enough, whatever. I don't know, could well be that. Could be exactly that. I'm just proposing. Well, I suppose I am now. I've been doing these for ages. I knew they were kind of Celtic, but I've been making them with copper. Anyhow, I've been making things with copper, and for a while, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I felt like I was tapping into something. Turns out I probably was. I am. Okay, where am I now? So this is an interpretation here. This is it's a mirror, right? And there might be people that have looked at this and come to the same conclusion that I've come to this evening in a roundabout way, even though it's pretty it's ill-formed, and it's in its infancy, this notion of mine, but it's not. It almost balances. It's not. I'm not saying I got it down, but it's close. So I'll just shut that, and I'll try to go back to where I was when I lost focus. Alright, so I've been looking at these, right? I didn't have this up at first. I was just looking at this one, and I was looking at the pattern, and I was like, alright, well here it goes from a spiral. Alright, this is one thing. There's not one there, so it goes from 0. Then it goes 1 to 0. Then it probably is hard to see because look at the frequencies going nuts. I wasn't doing that before. Then it's like 1 to 1, 2, 3. Then 1 to 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it get a bit scooby here because this is like one thing and there's like an extra thing, and I was like, I don't know. To me, wouldn't this be more like the moons? And I thought to myself, hang on, I've got something else here which I've found because I like the moon, and this made a lot of sense to me when I found this not very long ago. What the things of the moon, right? And I've paid close attention to the moon. I get good feelings from them, Anyhow, so on a new moon, it talks about the inward pull, right? And it shows that it's I've taken this as clockwise. Now I could be wrong, but it looks to me that looks clockwise. Like it starts from the outside, goes in this way, so like a clock. So the inward pull will be clockwise, and that's why I talk about, I don't know, magic wise, whatever. Clockwise is pulling things in, and anti-clockwise is pushing things. I'm talking about hand, you can't see it. It's pushing things out, right? That makes sense to me. On the full moon, out it says here, time blah 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 blah. The outward pull is at its strongest, right? It says this invites blah 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 blah. So I've gone, okay, well that would be anti-clockwise, and this would be clockwise. So then I've looked at this again, and I'm gone. Let me just print this back out. Firstly, I counted the things, right? There's like one, starting with the new moon, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But that's because they put it all in quarters, and that's probably got more to do with. I don't know how long it's been stopped for. It would have stopped 10 minutes. I should have known. Well, I just explained I just counted the number. I don't know where it stopped. So I'm just going to move on. Point is, I was comparing that to that. And what sort of scooped me is, okay, these are not mirrored. This is not a mirror of that. And I'm not, this could be a mirror, an artist impression in a carving or stone or whatever, that maybe they're carving a wood, then it turns to stone. That's something I've thought for a while. But anyhow, so it could be a shiny mirror on the other side. Yeah, it could be. And on this side, I don't think these are just patterns. You don't do that just to do patterns. Maybe you do. I do. So maybe it is that. But I'm going, well, I think it might be telling a story about the moon cycles or something. Then I remembered I had this. I think I just said this, but I don't think it was recording. Anyhow, counting the things up, I'm like, it almost fitted, but it didn't quite. Because what happens is you've got like one thing here, like this figure, this S type thing, right? I don't know if that's coming out there. I don't think it is. Like this thing. And then you got another one, so it's 1, then it's 2, then it's 3, and then it looks like there's a fourth one here, but in the middle there's one by itself. So I couldn't quite make sense of that. I was like, it didn't really work. Now looking at it from this side, each of these spirals, they look like clockwise, which would be inward pulls. But it makes sense with the moon. I think that makes a lot of sense. Anyhow, now I'm looking at this a bit more, and I'm like, hang on. Well, this would be the moons here, wouldn't it? Down here. And I'm like, okay, well let's figure this as the new moon. It's an inward pull. So we start from here, come in, and then we're doing clockwise. Right, inward pull. Oh, that would be a new moon. And then it would work its way around, much like this particular drawing, this interpretation here, until you get to a full moon, is what I'm thinking this might be. And this would be an outward pull. So just starting from there, just because you can't probably see that. But yeah, and then you come in and you're doing, that's anti-clockwise. So that's an outward pull. So I think this is doing from a new moon to a full moon, and perhaps that's what these little nodules here are. And what this looks like a crescent to me, but it could be it's coming out. So crescent to me there, but it could be I don't know. There's definitely different. The fact that these are different by one number, like, 1 to none, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, I get confused here. Alright, I'm not saying it works perfectly, but if you look at this as an inward pull and this is an outward pull, well, this would be a new moon, alright, and perhaps that's what this, because this actually almost matches that quite well. It's hard to see because this is a bit trashed. Look, there's another spiral there. There's no spiral over here. It looks like it could be a moon, to be honest, like a no moon, or a new moon, which is a no moon, or a full moon. I'm not sure if that made sense, what I explained. I'm not sure I've really added anything to the debate. Not even sure there is a debate, so it doesn't really matter. I'm not debating. This bit here as well, this also reflects, or is it this bit? That reflects, that would be an inward pull, so it's coming there and then it's going around, and this would be also an outward pull, anti-clockwise. Matches this here and matches this, so that works. That's in alignment. All right, and these could well be symbolising something along those lines. This looks like a nodule that's missing from there. Nodules could be moons. This could this could be a comb. I mean, no, that's a comb. Maybe it is, but yeah, I don't know if this would go anywhere. I don't feel like I should share this. It's a bit, anyhow, as I said, it's in its infancy. I was just documenting it contemporaneously for myself. Maybe I share it if I don't get overly self-conscious. Yeah, maybe all turns on the mood. I don't know. Nothing to lose, nothing to. I don't know if there's anything to gain by it, but anyhow, it might just share. Someone else might go, oh, that's right. Actually, and someone else could look at this, and with that little bit of information that's come out that's fallen out of my mouth, they might be like, well, actually, this is the reason this is 7, because this is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's if I was counting these, it ended up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, point is that I think if you're doing this just for like making doodles and art-wise, making doodles, you know what I mean, doodling, like I do a bit of. I'm trying to say, oh, I did that. There's another doodle. Like, why is that not coming out? Alright, so I just did that, alright? It's a doodle. Well, it's not a doodle. Alright, it's doodling, right? Point is, usually you try and make some sort of balance, right? Or you would mirror it, or you're not always, I don't always, just saying, if you're going to carve it in if you're going to carve, I think that if you're going to carve it in stone, or if that's what happened, and I'm not unconvinced. I think it's quite possible these are actually wood, and they just turned to stone. But don't get me, that's just another idea. But that's just how, because a lot of the caves used to be giant trees. The cave this dude was found in for 1400 years. Allegedly, he was there with a big boulder on his mid region with his legs crossed. If I have my legs crossed for more than 5 minutes, that bloody sucks. It hurts. I got to uncross my legs because I've been doing it for 1400 years, maybe. I don't know. That was something I found funny the other week. I shared it with the room. What I was saying is, let's say this is carved into stone. I'm not convinced that's the case. Let's say it was. Could have been wood. A lot easier to carve into wood than it turns to stone. Yeah, it makes more sense to me anyhow. Regardless, you're going to carve it. You're either going to be telling a story, that you want, that are something important, I would think, or you're going to be doodling, in which case doodling, you might make it symmetrical, you might not. I've probably gone nowhere really with, I don't think I've enlightened myself or anyone else there, but point is this here, I think it's got something with the moon. So let's just go back to the one bit I've said that makes sense. Inward pull, new moon. Inward pull, new moon, no moon, new moon, no moon. Inward pull, clockwise. Outward pull, because this is reflecting a cycle, the moon cycle, in fact, which is tied into menstrual cycles, all sorts of things. The tides, it's everything it's real. Yeah, it's so yeah. Anyhow, I think I know where I'm trying to go with that. Hopefully, otherwise, all right. We'll call that. Just say inward pull new moon, outward pull full moon, and perhaps these are because this talks about things that you would do right at each time, which makes a lot of sense to me. And I've heard other things about people cutting their hair at certain times. You can mow your grass. And I've got to look more into it. It's been a while since I've heard it, but it's like if you mow your lawn on a particular phase of the going through this, it would actually probably be here around the first quarter. Time to plant seeds, out of the outward pull increases, a good time to take action. Probably around here, you mow your grass and your lawn grows killer. And it's the same thing with hair. It's like a known thing. A mate, Mrs. from El Salvador, she knew that. She was like, yeah, that's what they do. Not saying to be surprised at someone from El Salvador, and I'm saying that it was a known thing before we all got brainwashed and mind controlled into thinking that we're the zenith of civilization because we got motherfucking iPhones. Before everyone has been dazed and confused, whatever is happening now, we knew this stuff about the moon. We didn't have to listen to someone like me go, get confused the whole. Maybe the whole thing's confused what I'm saying. It sounds that way to me now. Alright, this is going to cut me off. I've got another minute, but I don't think it's worth filling that minute. Yeah. Alright. Thank you. Yeah, much love. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot they didn't know about these people, and we got to go on this and this stuff. I like this stuff a lot. And I'm not trying to interpret a lot, just to see how it felt. This is very cool, alright? This is cool as. Feels good. This, great. Feels good. I'll leave it at that. I'm leaving it at that. This could be something to do with the moon. It could be sea, earth, sky, like a lot of that stuff. Alright. Could be anything. Much love. Bye. Cheerio. Cheers.